Hey Pirates, it's Ren here. Just wanted to do a short video on the Assault Raid Strategy Guide released by Kixeye today. I did a video showing how the VXP weekend works and the breakdown of each thing in the target. This strategy guide confirms a few things, clarifies a few things, so I thought it was worth sharing that with you. So this is good for November's raid and mostly December, where the mechanics are the same. Targets will be different though. The target's called a Scourge Submerged Stronghold, and these are the main components. So there are tiny drones called Dosidicus, I guess that's how you say it. They're low health, really fast, so they outrun you. They do medium damage with scatterguns, which has splash, and it's corrosive, short range. So you can outrange them, but you cannot outrun them. They do a deep submerge sometimes, and when they're in that state, it's harder to see and you can't fire at them. They don't have stun resistance. This is important because if you had a chance to see the pillage briefing, the Photon ECM's flagship, it's called UV Photon, has a stun pulse. Every 2 seconds it releases a pulse that stuns enemy within a range of 40 from it. So if these drones are really close to you and you know they're going to be stunned and they have no resistance, so you have 2 seconds to kill them during that stun. That's really cool. The next enemy is the Ghost Crawler, which is usually going to be coming with the drones, but the drones will run ahead because their speed is fast and the Ghost Crawler is medium. High health, takes a while to kill it. It does a lot of damage with scatterguns, so you can try to outrun. My main tactic here is don't make tight turns when you're in range of the Ghost Crawler, or the splash from the scatterguns will hit you hard and take a lot of health. Try to move in a straight line and only turn either slowly, soft turns, or turn tight turns when you're out of range. Short range, so you can outrun it and you can outrange it. It has some stun resistance, so if it's really close to you and your flagship stuns it, it's not gonna last long. It's just a chance for you to put some distance between you and the Ghost Crawler. Then next, the third type of ship is the Stonefish. It's mostly underwater, high health, very slow, but it has very long range missiles firing at you, penetrative damage. Interesting to notice, the missiles from the Stonefish are not counterable. So far, we've seen 3 ships, and scatterguns you cannot counter, and the missiles from the Stonefish you cannot counter either. What else? So now next up we look at the turrets. There's a Venom Speeder scattergun turret. It's short range, it does splash, it's corrosive, high damage, so you want to outrun it. Outrange it, not outrun it. You want to outrange it and kill it without it ever firing at you. That's what you want to do. And this to me in the VXP weekend target. You can watch the video I did about that one. This was the worst. Most of the damage was coming from this Death Scythe missile turret. This one is the only thing in the target that can be countered, but even then it says low counter chance. So that means the projectiles from this turret have very high countermeasure evade. Which leads me, and you can watch my other video about the build in details, but I'm only going to have 4 MDS3 countermeasures on my entire fleet. So only 2 ships will have 2 of each. And after the first raid, I may even refit that down to just 1 ship with 2 countermeasures. But it's going to be between 2 and 4 for me. Not on all ships. That's a waste. You're probably going to need more missiles, more firepower to kill things quickly while they're stunned than trying to countermeasure a lot, because that's going to be pretty useless. So medium health, high damage, long range. It does outrange you. But you can either get really close and stun it, or you can use the structures down here to stun them. So these are called relay towers. And when you destroy them, they will stun their turrets and ships nearby. It doesn't say the exact range, but it seems to be something around 80 range or something like that, based on the VXP weekend target. But before I talk about this one much, there's not much, actually there's nothing else to talk about it. This is the main structure there. It's called Scourge Booster Titanium Extractor. And what it does, it has a field. That's what the little symbol up here means. There's a field that is increasing the damage of all Scourge turrets, all of them. So it doesn't have a limited range. Pretty much, if this guy is on the map, every single turret will be doing more damage to you. And the effect stacks. So if there's 2 or 3 or 4 of those, that means the turrets will be doing a ton of damage. And what you want to do as much as possible is kill these buildings first. So I think the strategy on the target is kill as many of the extractors as you can before you trigger anything else. Kill the drones, kill the ghost crawlers, because they're going to come at you. The stonefishes, and then try to find these buildings, this relay tower, so it stuns the turrets and you can kill them without them firing at you. This is what seems to work nicely. And on your Photon fleet, prioritize missiles versus countermeasures. Prioritize evade versus countermeasures. That seems to be important. In terms of the targets, there's going to be an X target. There's going to be 2 S targets. And if it's like all the past many months, these 2 together will give you 1,000,000 points. Usually 250, 250, and 500 bonus. Then you kill this guy. I don't know if it's going to pay 1,000,000, if it's going to pay 500, but there's usually another bonus when you line up a set of these 3. Except on the first raid, there's also a Gladius target. And I asked for some clarification from Kixeye, and it is part of the bigger set. So the small set is S, these 2. The big set, the extra bonus, if you want to go for it, you got to line up 4 targets, 510, 140, 142, and 603. Otherwise, you don't get the other bonus. If you don't have your Photon fleet ready, or even if you do, you can do the A targets. My plan is to use the Photon and do the S targets primarily. Meanwhile, having my Gladiuses doing the 80s, just because they auto-friendly. And usually pays 100k and it stacks up. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Take a look at my VXP weekend video. It's the links right here at the end of this video. And take a look at my updated video on how to build Photon ECMs. Take care, parts. See you next time.